Recently, Kodak released the Charmera, a small keychain camera sold in blind boxes, so you don't really know what you're going to get until you open it. And naturally, I had to get my hands on what is basically the Labubu of cameras. And it got me wondering, how good could a keychain camera really be? Well, today we'll find out, and I'll share some sample photos and video I shot with the Charmera later in this video. But first off, what even is the Charmera? Well, it's a small camera that can fit in the palm of your hand and which can attach to your keychain, your backpack, belt loop, whatever you got. There are 6 main colors and a 7th rare transparent color. Because these are sold in blind boxes, as I mentioned before, you won't know which one you're buying until you actually open the box, very much like the recent Labubu craze. I've even heard of some people doing trades, which I think is a bit of a fun social element to it. Notable specs for the Kodak Charmera include a 1.6 megapixel 1/4-inch CMOS sensor, so super tiny, 8-bit JPEG photos, a 35mm f2.8 integrated lens, 1440 by 1080p 30 FPS video, and 7 built-in filters which you can apply to your photos. If you're thinking that doesn't sound like much, well, you're right. It certainly doesn't even get close to matching the specs of even a shitty modern day camera. But I imagine that isn't really the point. In fact, I think this camera is an attempt to lean heavy into the vintage digicam look that's been so popular lately. To that point, it does a pretty solid job as long as you don't expect it to match the quality of your phone or realistically even a point and shoot camera. Now let's take a look at the physical camera itself. So on the front, we have a lens, an LED for lighting your subject, and a optical viewfinder of sorts. If we flip around to the back side, we'll have our LCD screen, which is really small, mainly for navigating menus and also being able to compose your shots. There's also some navigation buttons here, as well as a playback button so that you can review photos or video that you've taken. Up on the top, we have our power button as well as our return to menu function. And then in addition to that, we've also got our shutter release button. On the bottom, we have a USB-C port for both charging and file transfer. We have a reset pin if your camera freezes. And then we also have the micro SD card slot, which I believe can hold up to 128 gig micro SD card. And then lastly, on the side here, we have our hook that we can attach our keychain to. And the nice thing about the keychain is it has a clasp on both ends so that you can very easily remove the keychain if you wanted to. As far as images and video go, they aren't great, but they might be perfect. The video is about the same as the photos in terms of look. Like I mentioned, with the photos, it might be exactly what you're after, or it could be a bit of a disappointment. I'm also now recording with the Charmera, and you can see for yourself how it looks compared to my modern Canon R7 for a talking head style compared to what you've been seeing in this video. Although worth noting, the audio is recorded separately in both cases. So is the Charmera the charming camera Kodak hopes for it to be? Well, in my opinion, I think it's a really cool idea, and I do enjoy taking this camera around with me on my belt loop. I will admit, I wish we had maybe more of a 4 to 5 megapixel sensor and a slightly better lens, but hey, people like me are always gonna find something to gripe about. I'm more curious though what you think of this camera. Total gimmick or worthy of its place on your keychain? Let me know in the comments below. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like or hype it. It would make my day. And subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see more content like this. And by the way, you just might like this digicam point and shoot video up next. I'm Colton. I'll see you in the next one.